everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Creative Visions TV. I'm your host, Karen Dahlman. Now, I know I haven't been around too much in this new year, and that's because, hey, 2022 is already throwing some changes our way, and it threw its change my way. In fact, the end of 2021 is when it started for me. I moved again. No, I didn't leave Arizona. I'm still in Arizona, just in a different location, and I'm perfectly happy with it. It was a surprise move, but it needed to happen. So you guys, this is something to think about. 2020, 2021, even the end of 2019 with the whole COVID pandemic and everything else going on, the world is really shifting and changing, and it really is for the better. Although there's some underlying negative stuff that's happening, we're really beginning to awaken. Humanity is waking up. As the famous late Art Bell used to say, he called it the quickening. Things are moving faster, quicker pace, and we're beginning to really see the truth in circumstances. People are being asked to shift and go with the flow. We're being asked to change. People are going through divorces, breakups, marriages. Big changes are happening. Switching careers, moving to locations, not realizing you needed to move. I mean, it's happening. You guys know what I'm talking about. None of us are untouched by it. We all are touched by this change. And one thing I could say about change is that it is a constant in life. You can count on change. But this year coming up, you guys, 2022 that we're in right now, will be a year full of more surprises, more aligning with our true selves and awakening. And often with an awakening, we must go through a dark night of the soul. We must see the truth in things and come to some new conclusions, realizations. It might require letting some relationships go, and it might require bringing new people in. So just be open to the possibilities. The key here is to learn to go with the flow. Try not to control it, but see a bigger picture. And if you can, find the silver lining within it, everything you do, and your life will be a lot smoother this year. I wish you the best. Now, we just had the Chinese Lunar New Year on February 1st. Thank you all who joined our event. It was a fun time. But I want to say, you can look at it this way. We have a reset for 2022. It happened on February 1st. So you're still in that auspicious energy of being able to create and manifest and direct your intentions the way you'd like it to go in the new year. So try that. If you haven't set up your intentions for this new year, set them up now. You're within a good time of great energy to do that, supportive energy to do that. And I wish you the best. So today I have a wonderful guest that I'm bringing on. This person comes from way up in northern Canada, the northwest corner. It's actually the Yukon area, the Yukon region, way up there. It's really cold up there. Ooh, I think it's cold here right now where I am in Arizona, which is like, 50 degrees. It's like -15 where she is. Oh my gosh. But it's way up there right against Alaska. I wanted to invite her on the show because she has a love for Ouija, art, therapy, just like I do. And that's pretty much how we met. So she is a professional medium with 40 years of metaphysical experience. She works a lot with different kinds of divination tools. We'll ask her all about that different tools she uses. She provides therapeutic divination sessions with her clients. And she has had this connection with spirit since a very, very young age. She started having prophetic dreams and being able to communicate with animals when she was young. This just continued to develop in her life. She's really an earthy woman, a witchy kind of woman, a magical woman. She's a musician. She makes jewelry. She's an artist. She's a natural healer. She's a skilled herbalist, crystal expert. I mean, she does so many different things, and we're going to get into a lot of that stuff she does. She has this really cool wagon. I call it a trailer wagon. I mean, it's really cool. I'm going to have her show it to us during the show, but it's like a magical witchy wagon, and she'll take it to different places and all of a sudden open like a pop-up shop and sell her products there, her crystal, her jewelry she makes, and provide readings. She's really well known for her readings, by the way. So I'm just thinking, without further ado, let me bring our guest on. We're going to welcome Nancy Bliss to this show. Welcome, Nancy. It's great to have you. Thank you for joining us today. You guys, I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. That's on my end, you guys. We're using a new format now. I'm using Zoom, you guys. I used to use Skype, but thank you. It's so good to have you here, Nancy. Thank you.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
Doing great. I was just telling the audience that it's like, what, 15 degrees below zero right now?
Yes, definitely. It's minus 15 here. So.
You guys, and I'm sitting here and it's like 53-ish, 55. And I'm like, oh, it's cold. I was telling this to Nancy. She's like, that's probably like spring day for her.
Yeah, definitely. We'd be outside all day enjoying that.
Oh my gosh, this is cold. So, okay, you guys. So I was telling you earlier how we met because we have the share the love of art, therapy, the Ouija board. And you know what's so cool, you guys? She's also has a therapy background. You know, I'm a psychotherapist licensed and she's a social worker. We have that in common. But I mean, God, we do a lot of similar stuff, don't we, in so many ways?
We do. It's definitely time that we connected, and I'm so glad we have.
Yeah, me too. And so, you know what? Let's start with the Ouija board. I mean, come on, you guys. I love anybody that loves Ouija boards. So, Nancy, what is it about the Ouija board that draws you to it?
It's because it is just really, like you say, it really is just a spiritual telephone. I feel that it's going to give you the most direct answers. When you're connecting with your spirit guides, it's going to give you the detail and names and the real nitty gritty of a situation. So I love to go to it because I can always rely on that.
So do you have a favorite Ouija board that you have, or a talking board or spirit board? I mean, because you guys look behind me. These are all Ouijas. I have all Ouijas today. You guys know I have talking boards too, but I just wanted to put mine back here because, you know, I love the love for Ouija. So
yes. Well, and I do love my own. This is a pendulum board that I have created.
Nice.
It also doubles as a Ouija board. As you can see, it's got all the moon phases, all the letters and numbers, everything. And it's also got the 5 elements. So spirit, water, earth, air, fire, right?
That's beautiful.
Really, if you're looking for the detail, you can find out the timing of events and everything. But you can use it with the pendulum, or you can use it with a planchette. These are some of my favorites that I've collected over the years, but I really go to a slice of agate. You
guys, check this out. Okay, I don't know if I've spoken about using stones on the show as your planchette or indicator. She actually has a hole in this agate. Look at this.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that? Now, it moves pretty smoothly, doesn't it? Because it's all polished, right?
Oh, yes, it just glides like silk. Really, it does. But I want to show you this board as well, because I feel that this is a cutting board, but it is designed by Shane of the Dead. Beautiful board.
Look,
and I can't help it. I have to mention it. He's amazing, his artwork, and it just captures the Ouija spirit, if you will. Vintage, you know, just everything about it. I love that it just captures my imagination as it does, and it helps me connect with spirit that way. But again, the agate slice, it just really glides over. Yeah, so I just love it. I'm also designing my own board now, Karen. Did you know that?
You know what? Exactly. Now, I noticed those 2 boards. Was there an eye in the middle of both of them?
Yes.
Well, let's see those. If you don't mind holding them up again, I bring it to the camera. I would love to see, because I thought I saw an eye in there. There is an eye. Okay. Interesting. Now to you, what is that eye about? Because there's an eye in the middle of both of those.
Now to me personally, before I had done background research into it, because I had to, I'm a researcher by heart, and I just thought, what is this about? And I knew about the Eye of Ra from Egyptian times, and I thought, all right, well, it's probably just, or the eye, I'm so sorry, the Eye of Horus. And so I thought, well, it must be something about that. For other people, it means the eye of providence, the all-seeing eye of protection, things like that. It's really fused with the occult. For me, I just see it as an awareness. It's an awareness from the spirit world of sight that I don't have necessarily with my human limitations. And so that's how I see it.
I
myself.
love that, because if you see it as like the sight, it could also represent like the third eye, because it's only one eye, you guys. It could be the pineal gland. And I got to tell you, when you do this work, you've got to be able to start accessing some of this other information within the pineal. I mean, and that's your third eye, you guys. So that could represent that. It could represent just what you said, giving you some sight or foresight. I love that. You guys, when you work with these tools, think about what they mean to you. And if you find one like that or two that resonate with you because of the symbolism, I mean, you're going to get that much more luck at using them, and they're going to work better for you, because right there, you already resonate with it.
Exactly. So the agate is a very protective crystal, and I love it because, of course, it has the window. And so, you just have, I discovered it kind of by accident. It just, and as we do, these things sort of call to us. And I feel that it provides just a little bit of spiritual protection that sometimes we may need out there when we're dealing with the metaphysical realm, but also it just glides beautifully. But also for my boards, I always use birch, and birch is, it was the first tree to come back after the glaciers receded. And so it is actually considered by some to be a protective wood, sacred to the planet and the tree of life. So really, I try to have meaning in all things, and they have correspondences to one another. And the more you tap into the correspondences, the better actually it is.
You guys, this is why she's a master herbalist. Okay, you see this? An expert at crystals. She makes it all come together. All right, so you do a lot of divination tools, and you showed us how you use the pendulum. You got the Ouija board, the planchette. What other divination kinds of things do you do? I know you do cards, but what else?
Now, back to how I need to be connected to things and what they mean to me. I happen to love the Yukon. I happen to absolutely adore the Yukon. It is steeped in history. So many wonderful people up here, very unique folks, a lot of them. The colorful, I think they say the colorful, 10% of Canada. And it's true, very unique, lovely. And the history here is something that I chose to put on my cards that I made. These are my own Lenormand deck from the 1800s. Lenormand is from the 1800s Germany, actually. And so this is Carmack. He discovered gold, but some say actually Skookum discovered the gold. And so there's a little controversy there still to this day. And this is Kate Carmack. Very strong First Nations lady. This is Sam McGee's cabin. And that is the poem that Jack London wrote about Sam McGee, and the Midnight Sun. So many things. And up here we have character. We have this absolutely amazing log skyscraper, downtown Whitehorse. And so it's such an interesting place to be.
Now, why did you create your own deck? What was the reason for that? Because you have other decks you can use, but why did you create your own?
I feel that it creates more of a connection between myself and my cards. Often they'll say, carry your cards around with you in your pocket, all these different things. But I really felt that it would help me to connect, and it definitely did. I get my best readings from my own cards.
Okay.
And I think people that live in Yukon here, I think that they would be able to as well. And so I had the idea of having it to be a learner deck. So it's actually a learner deck with the card meanings on the front. And they're just written very small, but big enough. So some of us with failing eyesight can still see it. And sometimes I'll be caught up in the reading and I'll be distracted by something, and I need to be reminded, what is this card coming up for? And so to have various meanings in the card available, it's helpful. Sometimes I just go, there's a lot of information coming in, and all we have is the cards. That's why I love the Ouija. So much more efficient.
Well, Luigi, you get the, the spelling and everything, you get the movement too. But what I like about cards, did you guys know I do oracle cards, I do readings with oracle and tarot, and then also just channel. What I find, like you were saying, you use oracle cards and you have a word on there. It's like you guys think of it this way: it's your springboard. It's the first step you take, and then from there you springboard off of that word, and it takes you into the reading. And so you might get that card for two different people in the same day, but it's going to have a whole different meaning depending on how you allow yourself to go with it. You guys know what I mean? So the Ouija board's more direct. It's like, oh, I don't have to guess what it means because it's going to spell it out. You guys know when we do it, but that you have to really go into the whole channeling to do it. So I think you guys, I've told you before, when you get a Ouija board, you might want to make your own first, start with your own, because you're going to resonate with it, your own symbols and stuff, and then don't go buy one until you know what it is you want. Same with the cards. You can make your own cards, you guys, or start with a simpler deck and then figure out, how it works for you, and then go into the more expensive decks. But I love the decks too. I mean, you probably have several decks, don't you?
I do. I have 3 I use all the time.
Okay.
I don't really connect with tarot as much as I'd like to. I just like Lenormand. Lenormand is called the game of hope. That's where, and it comes from a different time that I feel I'm more connected to, the 1800s and that period. I just resonate so much with it.
Well, it's important to pick a deck that you resonate with, right? I think I have not as many decks as I have boards. You guys, I'm up to like 72, 75 boards now, I think. Oh, I have another new one coming, you guys. I'll show it to you on some show. Oh my God. Okay. So, but I want to say this about decks. I have a lot of decks and I've experimented over the years. I think I got my first deck was in 86, 87, you guys. So I've been using the board since 73, but then I got into decks, and then I found some decks that I really started resonating with, and it changed over the years, you guys. So be prepared. You might change a little bit, and then you're going to get a deck that you just love, just like my boards. This board, you guys, I've shown it to you before, but it's my circa 1890 92, 93. It's the oldest board I have. But then these boards are all different ages. And you guys know me. I love my 1970 circa 72, 73 board. But you find your ones that you like and you would tend to work with. Same with cards. Now we have a lot of people here in the audience who work with cards. So I wanted you to know that too, Nancy. Everybody here likes divination tools. Now you do water witching, don't you?
I do, yes. I can find wells, and I've actually just recently moved over into finding little gold nuggets, little pockets of gold around, and so I'm really fascinated exploring that further. And I also we talked about how I make some skincare products too. You
guys, this is so cool. Would you show us what you do? I mean, this is really, you guys, she will take this in her wagon and sell them.
This is my backyard. This is summer in Yukon, in the backyard. That would be about August with the fireweed just going bananas. And what I do is I harvest the fireweed, and of course we're thanking Creator and we're thanking the earth, and energetically, whenever gathering, that's just your priority, has to be. And then I infuse it into different oils and I make different products out of it, because it's anti-inflammatory. It has high vitamin C and vitamin A content. And so it has the rejuvenating properties, but it's also metaphysically renewing, because it's the first plant to appear again after a forest fire.
Wonderful. That's why it's called fireweed, right? That's why it's called that? Okay.
In fact, I actually make my own tea that I call Fireweed Phoenix, because it just is so renewing and it's so good for the immune system. So I gather and I drink the tea all winter, because and I haven't been sick. It's just amazing, really, Mother Nature. And so then I make different sprays, and I make moon spray out of moon energized water. And I add I had a lot of people coming to me when I was doing readings that felt they needed protection. They felt they needed something to lift up their vibrational energy field, something they were aware. And so I looked into it, and I came up with this one. Really, it's a peaceful warrior. And It's got patchouli in it, of course. That dates back to Arabic times when they were traveling. They would stuff their pillows with patchouli for protection, and cedar is protective and connects you. These are all connect you to the metaphysical realm, to your protective spirit guides. And so it just seems to be very uplifting. I have a lot of people that work frontline that I know, nurses that really love it. I've got a Mandarin version of it too that they really like. It's very refreshing. And of course, citrus really raises vibration and raises the energy and picks you up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think the key here is that it's wildcrafted, you guys. That's the part that I really like. And I don't know if you guys know, I had my own skincare line, body and skincare line years ago before I knew you guys, before I was here on YouTube. It was years ago, you guys, and I was selling in a bunch of stores, more local. I did sell across the United States in different stores, and then I started doing something else. I do a lot of different things, but I really resonate with Nancy on this level because of you. The more cleaner your products are, and I use all organic and natural products myself, you find that it takes your energy vibration and it helps lift it because you're starting to resonate with that quality that's in that, like you just mentioned, the oils and stuff, or in that plants medicine heals, right? So I bet you use these sprays and when you're doing your spiritual work, don't you, to clear the air, to get yourself ready?
Between readings, I always have my own bottle handy, and it just, it lifts you up. I can't really explain it more than that, but it just does. If I can't get away to have an energetic cleansing shower, anything, I just have that on the go, and I have it always. But I have this as well. This is like my beauty balm. Ooh. And it is all organic beeswax and the infused oils from the plants locally. It's just beautiful and moisturizing, because working in an office, I was putting chapstick on my face to keep it from drying out. And I thought, how many chemicals am I absorbing? I just thought, well, I don't want not to put down chapstick by any means, but this is a more natural alternative to it.
Yeah.
But I've also heard back about my products almost having a magical quality. I had a friend who had a terrible burn in a kitchen, and he was just like, well, I've been to the hospital, and I was like, what do I do? And I was like, you need to put some oil on it right now. And he had my beard oil with him.
Oh,
and
wow.
And it's anti-inflammatory, fireweed, infused sunflower, and vetiver. And so it had this cooling anti-inflammatory quality. And he is just like, you need to have this. You need to put this in drugstores. This just, he is so enthusiastic about this product because it helped him to not be terribly scarred. So then he put it in the first aid kit at work.
Oh my gosh. Well, you do sell your products in stores, don't you? You sell them.
I do.
Yeah.
And Unorthodox Yukon, there's a place in town in Whitehorse called Unorthodox Yukon. And they've been so supportive of my business. I can't say enough. Just amazing, really. And the feed store is our local pet supply shop, but they're more than that. They're just amazing, and they support local. And I can't say enough about the feed store. They've been great.
Oh, that's wonderful. You guys also, I know she also has a place online. All links will be below when we start talking about the things she does, so you guys can check it out as well. Now we got to go backwards a little bit, because in the beginning, as I told you guys, she's had some experiences as a child, prophetic dreams, animal communication, things of that nature. What can you tell us about your childhood? What made you who you are today? What happened to you?
I started to have these dreams when I was about 5, and my dad took notice, and he had changed the course of action on a few things he was going to do, and he really felt that I had saved his life on more than one occasion. And so they were starting to ask me, family members were, what did you dream last night? And I really was able to see quite a lot. I saw his heart attack coming, and when he had it right in front of me, and I was waiting there, And I said, heart attack. And I was only 9. You shouldn't have
Wow.
known that it was a heart attack. And then later I said, Dad, I'd really like to learn how to play the guitar. And he said, oh, okay. And he bought a guitar from the good old Sears catalog up here. And that's all we had. And he picked it up and tuned it and played it like he'd always played it, played classical music just amazingly. And everybody was just astounded. But then he was able to teach me. And I feel that he was teaching me telepathically because I was catching on so quickly. And we had this psychic connection that was more, and I never had to use any sheet music.
Oh,
But then,
wow.
yeah, but then, since he passed away, it hasn't been as easy. And I really feel that he was the one that energy was coming from, and that creativeness. And so he and I played guitar together, and I have an old cassette I found. So I'm really looking forward to putting that online sometime soon.
Oh, that's nice. And she's an artist through and through. I mean, you work with art materials, like you do jewelry making too. It's like I just kind of want to call you the witchy Renaissance woman. I mean, what do you not do? I mean, she's so creative, you guys, super creative. Who doesn't love creative people? So you gotta tell us more about your work, because I know you do readings. And the cool thing is you come with this background, like I do as a therapist, social worker, and then you're able to put that also the abilities that you learned there and use them with your sessions, plus all the talents you have and abilities to do readings and mediumship. So tell us what makes your readings unique, because you have a unique way of going about it.
Well, I do, and it's because I'm so self-taught. I've really rejected a lot. It took me a while to move to a deck, actually, because I only used a deck of playing cards prior to that. And so it took me a while, and as you know, you have to learn all the meanings of the cards. And I really preferred to just honestly allow my brain to relax and just go to the place where I can sense the different spirit beings. Really, they want to talk to us. They want us there. They want to know what our thoughts are and our feelings are. And I also felt that now more than ever, people need the support of knowing that people that have passed to the other side are okay, and that they're happy, they're connected to family, and that life goes on in a beautiful way. And I think that's very important because people experience so much loss and so much grief sometimes that it's overwhelming. And then really focusing on their strengths and their assets that they bring to their own life system. Really, I think it's almost like a form of therapy and the metaphysical realm, and it all comes together so therapeutically for people. And honestly, sometimes people, they feel so helped that it's so moving that, yeah, I just want to keep going. And so what I have usually is I use the cards because people feel safest with the cards, and that's fine. And I will lay down 9 cards, and usually then they link up to the cards. Usually it's the first. And then I say, okay, now I know we're connected to the cards. And that tells the cards, because the cards are alive, that we are connected and that we're open to what the messages they want to give us. But it's more than the cards. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And when we start channeling a lost relative from the other side, to hear them speaking through the cards and telling us things that are so specific and so particular, it's undeniably very real to everyone that gets a reading. And and I'm a very skeptical gal myself. I'm very evidence-based, and every day I'm astounded by this practice. Every single day I'm fascinated. What can I learn today? And who can I connect today to this process?
So true. So well said. It's every day is different. I just feel like you're saying, I feel so grateful that I can connect with the guides or other people's guides or loved ones or the animals. It's like, it's an honor, you guys. It's an honor to do this work. And for me, Nancy and I've spoken before about this. You feel this like this unconditional love flow through you because you're not only tapping into this person's energy, but you're feeling that love vibration that connects you two together, as well as with those in the other dimensions, whether it's spirit guides or deceased people. You're connecting in this heart space, you guys, heart space that really enlivens and awakens you within. It's like, I get the biggest high off of it. I know Nancy does too. And that's what makes you want to do more, because you're like, this feels so good to help people. And then people can say, wow, I got to see something a little differently, or hear something I needed to hear. And you're like, I don't know where the hell that came from. I just gotta, right? I don't know where the hell that came from. I mean, we're surprised. We shock ourselves. I shock myself all the time. They're like, where'd you get that name from? I go, I don't know. I just was told to say it, you know? But that's the beauty of it. That is the great mystery of it. That's what I love about it. I know you do too, Nancy.
Absolutely. And really building in the safety, really building in the safety and the unconditional love flowing through us, and then generating that back out to the person who's getting the reading. I think that they can really feel the flow of that energy.
Okay, but so how about you as the reader? Here's a good question I want to ask you that you might be able to share with our audience here. How do you not get drained by it? How do you keep yourself, able to do this? Because she does readings all the time. I do too. So how do you keep yourself going without, I hear people that don't know how to do this so well. So give us some tips here on what you do that keeps you focused and not getting, she has her therapeutic training like I do in the background to help us. But what is it you do to keep yourself from getting drained or pulled in or just overwhelmed, or you can't shake the energy when you're done with the day? What do you do?
Oh my goodness. Well, I believe very much that my dog is amazingly healing. So
Of
I
course,
immediately,
animals are fantastic.
so if she's not in here while I'm doing the readings and sharing that energy, which is great, then I go and have nice cuddle time with my dog. But I mean, and she sort of, I feel her pulling the negativity, anything away. And we just go and play and we go back outside, because you disperse it back outside yourself. And I think that that's so important. It's important to have the sun on your face and the fresh air and just be out there. But I'll take her for walks in the woods and stop and just eat the spruce pitch, which is like, it's like tree sap. And it's what I put in my doggy paw wax, and my different salves and things, because it's very healing. And it draws out negativity, because, and I know this because I had a terrible wound on my hand, and it drew out all of the impurities that were in that wound.
Oh, wow.
Drew that. And so I know it has the power metaphysically. I know it's so good for your system. So I literally will eat these amazingly new drops. They're little droplets of golden medicine from the trees, really. It's what they are.
Wow. I had not heard about that. That's really cool.
And along with that, if there's fresh snow, beautiful. I also, though, I rely on my own products, really. I spray myself after this session with moon water and the patchouli and the cedar. They're just all very protective, and they make you feel really good. You don't really know why it's happening, but it smells so good. And the next thing you know, you really just feel relaxed. And that will get me through too. If it's still hanging on to me after all that, I will go and have an energetic shower. We have a gravity shower that I can add salts and essential oils to, and no flowers, I'm told. They clog up the drain. So, okay. Then I'll make a big pot of fireweed tea. And I just find it so soothing. The Russian people, they used to drink it all the time, the Soviets, and they're really onto something. Over there, they call it Evan tea, and it's renewing. It was going to, and it's no caffeine, so it's great. You can drink it all evening, And then in the morning, because it's anti-inflammatory, you don't feel quite as stiff and sore. It's had a
Wow.
chance to work on your system and really renew you. So I do a kind of a few things depending on how heavy it is. If I've had a lot of readings, if I've been in the
Mhm.
city, things like that.
You know,
Living out.
I've got to confess, don't think I've had firewood tea. What's it called?
Fireweed tea.
Firewood. I'm thinking like drink some logs, from your fireplace. So fireweed, I don't think I've had it, but I've had other like rubus tea I really like. It's an anti-inflammatory tea. And there's other ones I do. There's a lot of herbal teas. By the way, I will do the same thing she just said. When I'm done with readings and stuff, I will have some tea. I've been doing that more and more. And even tea during my readings, I like to have. I got to tell you, one of my favorite things to do for me when I'm done with a lot of readings and stuff is I like to take a soak in my tub. And bentonite clay is great, you guys. You can just put on your body or just soak it in some really good salts. And I will throw some essence oils in there myself. But do you know what I find? And I wonder about you, Nancy. When I'm doing my readings, a lot of times I find that because I set up when I do a reading, like I do when I do the Ouija board, you guys, I have my intentions. I state my little prayer invocation I usually have. When I do readings, I always have my labradorite big old stone with me.
Yeah.
And I set it in my lap. And you know what, you guys, that is my symbolization around me that I am protected. And I swear it works every time. I don't feel drained. There was times when I was like, okay, maybe, but no, now I'm just like, that's sitting there. It represents that to me. And then right then it puts me automatically into like, I'm protected and I will totally be there with somebody like you are in your readings, right? But you know how to separate from it too, so it doesn't overwhelm me, because if it overwhelms us, we're not gonna be good readers. We're not gonna do our job therapeutically and healthy, right? So I'm sure you do some of those practices. And I gotta say, I learned some of that in therapy when I was becoming a therapist.
Yes. Well, I'm surrounded by crystals in my wagon, for
Of course.
sure. And my wagon, I grit it with black tourmaline, and I have a lot of quartz. Absolutely. I find that quartz is the best. I have my little crystal ball, and this is quartz, and it sits on a rose quartz base. And I feel that it magnifies the loving energy. And
beautiful.
Loving is protective. But I'm addicted to my labradorite. I wear it all the time. So much I never even thought to mention it. So
yeah, I got this new piece. I think I showed it to you the other day when I was wearing it. We were talking, and I got it from one of my friends, Jessica. She's been on the show, you guys. You saw her on the show, Jessica Potter, that mermaid medium. She sells this jewelry, and so I got a piece from her, and I wear it a lot now. And it's this big labradorite with the amethyst on it, and it's just, you find that one piece of jewelry for yourself, like, or the crystals or the grids. You just know what works for you, and you keep going back to it. And after a while, it becomes second nature. You put that jewelry on, or for me, it's like, I love my rings too that I wear. It's like, it's all part of it, you guys. Turquoise is part of me grounding. And then you put it on, and all of a sudden you go, I'm in that space, right? You're in that space. Yeah.
And then even the colors you choose, I always wear black and blue together. They're just really, grounding, yet light, happy colors, cool, soothing. That's what I go for. And of course, I always have candles. I don't actually know a lot about color with candle. I just know that I like white candles, drawn to intuitively. That's mostly what I use. And I always use my own that I make. I think it's really important to use things that are clean, no chemicals.
I agree. And you guys, I don't know if any of you guys do liver detoxes, and a lot of people come this year, people are detoxing and stuff. You got to take care of your liver, and all these chemicals that are in our lives and products, it just hurts your liver so badly. So I'm so glad you brought that up. And that's what I like about your products too. They're clean. My products were too. I don't just get any kind of candle. It's got to be the soy. It's got to be, the pure burning, because if not, you're taking all this into your body, and you want to know how to work in these dimensions. And we talk about in this channel a lot, Nancy, how to get into the unseen dimensions and channel, and to access the higher octaves, as well as bring out your own abilities. We've got to keep our system clean and working. So thank you for bringing that up. That's important.
And I'll be doing more. I've designed my own Ouija board that's wearable, and so excited. So I'd love to show you that and send you one of those to play with. They're fun. And I'll be able to use it going around a house. I can use it for, obviously, with water witching and things like that. As you know, we can use pendulums and Ouija for that as well, even cards. These are all just tools. And I feel like we need to just kind of use what we've got for the betterment of everybody, really. That's what I believe. But yeah, I'll be going down and doing a little bit of ghost hunting and things like that down in BC. So I'm excited.
Okay. And you said BC?
Yes.
Okay. So British Columbia. Yeah. Okay. So remember, not everybody's from Canada. I'm going to interpret. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so this is what I want you guys to see in a moment here. She's going to go outside and she's going to show us. I want you to see, because she's in her wagon right now. Okay. You get an idea what it's out. It's this wood thing. It's cool. When you see the outside of it, you're going to go, OMG. Because I'm like, this is the cool, I got to meet this chick. This is the coolest thing. So seriously, you drive it around and to explain this, what you do and how you do.
I do. Basically, there is a fireweed market that I go to. And
of course, it's fireweed market.
Amazing, of course. And so that's wonderful. And I sit up there and I do cards, and I have my little boutique, and it has jewelry and my skincare products in it and lots of crystals and goodies. And then occasionally I'll pop up around Whitehorse or at a little festival, kind of like little campsites here and things, that everyone is really outside here. This is like, everybody is always outside, very outdoorsy. And I knew that's the way to go. Being out there is just so fun. And you know, if you don't like it, you can just drive away.
No, okay, so you don't go right now, you guys, there's snow on the ground. I mean, it's 15 below zero right now. It's snowing outside, she told me. So, okay, so you don't go during the winter time. You wait till what, summer, spring? I mean, when do you do this?
Well, I'd have to wait until June or July before I was out for a long time.
It's like Alaska where she is.
But I do have a heater. So if I'm having a witchy party, which I do, I'll plug in at the home that I'm at, run my little heater, and I can do that well into fall. I can do that early spring. I just haven't had a chance early spring because the wagon was only up and running in August last year, but I will.
Oh, it's so freaking cute. You guys, and now she's going to take us outside to go see the wagon. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Okay, so let's have a look. This is our beautiful witchy wagon, nestled here in the Tagish Wilderness in Yukon. And it's a lot of fun.
You're back. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for showing us. That's so cool. Love it.
I love it. Yes, I absolutely love it. It was actually built by a little company down here called Tagish Furniture. His name is Greg Peters, and he's been a carpenter forever. As my friend says, since Methuselah was a little boy, he's been at it. And he just said, you know, I think I could probably build you one of those. So I said, all right.
Well, it's a delight, you guys. You can see why I'm excited about this little wagon. I think it's the coolest witchy magical wagon I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't wait till the next festival. I hope that it'll be a good year for that. And yeah, it's lovely because I can go out and have my little wagon, and folks can come in from the rain and even just have a little talk. People love being in here. I think that they find the energy very healing and soothing. And honestly, I don't think anyone listens to anyone right now because they're very stressed. And so it's a spot that's safe and confidential, that they can share their feelings about what's happening for them now, and know that it's okay.
Well, and that leads us into, you know, your readings you're doing. Tell us a little bit more about that, because I know this is something you've been doing more and more and more and more of. And so,
Yes.
yeah, tell us about this a little bit more. What's going on with you?
I wasn't going to do them, but I realized that with the current situation, that it's difficult for people right now to maybe come out of town, or they're quite isolated up in Nunavut and places like that that are quite isolated. There's the word isolated again, but anyway.
Well,
And
you guys, you're very out there. I
we
mean,
are.
it really is.
Yes, and I'm an hour out of Whitehorse, but folks still come out to see the wagon. They still get lots of people coming out in droves. It's great. It surprises me. It's really been great. But the online meetings, I find just over distance that people still connect. I can cleanse their energy long distance without any issues. We can connect that way, and it's just like being here. Without having to go anywhere. They can be in the comfort of their own home. And that's really helpful right now to people, especially if there's job loss and so on. It's a way to connect with some support and get some help from the metaphysical realm while you're at it. It's all very good. So I find it's very therapeutic. People love it. And they keep coming back. I have lots and lots
And
of
you love it too. I mean, you
I
enjoy
do.
what it shows. And I gotta
Yeah.
say, with this whole COVID thing and the pandemic and all that,
Mhm.
2020, it was kind of started a little bit before that, but just how isolated everybody was. And I remember, the lockdowns and just, everybody started getting on Zoom, right? You guys look at me, I'm on Zoom, but I was doing Skype before, but now I do Zoom all the time.
Yeah.
Seriously, we really stepped it up into the electronics to work with us more so we could come together in more ways. And I have no problem at all doing readings this way, because I think it gives people that space they need to be in their own space and not to worry about traveling somewhere, and they can stay safe and comfortable and yet still have that connection with somebody reading it. I mean, yes, don't you love being in person with people? I do. I know you do too.
Yes.
You're a people person,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
this is the next best thing. So I think I'm glad you're doing this for people.
Yeah, it's accessible, and I find actually a lot of people connect even better this way. They are comfortable. They are comfortable in their own home. They don't have to be wearing pants. It works.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. I just thought of this right now. Okay, I like to do fun things like this. What would you say if I threw out to you, hey, you know what, Nancy, you have a superpower. What would you say your superpower is? And I want you at home to think about what your superpower is. And I want you to write it down below. Right now, while Nancy's thinking of it, when you guys watch this, write down below what you think your superpower is. We all have them. We all have more than one. But what do you think yours is? So she didn't know I was going to ask her this, you guys.
I think my superpower is the ability to conjure energy.
Ooh, yes.
That's always been my thing. And I feel like I'm really tapped into that. And so when people come to me, I can pick up on their energy and I can help them to learn how to use theirs. I'm all about empowering people to learn how to use their own gifts. And I love it when they are just about ready to hang up and they're just like, you don't know how much you just helped me. You don't know how much this means. And then they have some kind of control that they didn't have before. And they have abilities that maybe they weren't realizing. And so that's what brings, I feel, almost the social work background brings into it, with the strengths perspective. And they can say anything without me flinching, because honestly, I've heard everything.
Isn't that great? And now you guys see why I like her, why I want her on the show. She speaks our language. I mean, we all have these superpowers. I just love saying that. For me, I would say mine is the ability to tap into the unseen dimensions without fear. I'm just like fearless when it comes to this. And I've always been that way. And I want more. So I keep pushing the boundaries of consciousness. And that's what I feel like I'm good at doing. I'm good at being intuitive. Now, I know all you guys out there have your superpowers. I want to hear what they are below. We all have them. And sometimes people's superpowers are just showing up and being authentic. I mean,
Yeah.
how awesome is that? We don't have enough authenticity in many ways in our world. So it's great to see that when people can do that. And a lot of you guys out there can. And if you're watching this channel and you're interested in this stuff, I know some of your superpowers are your sensitivities, are your empathic abilities. And, you know, us with a background in therapy, social work, and that kind of stuff, you know, we get trained to be empathic, but we also are usually driven to that kind of field or the kind of helping work that many of you guys do because you have proclivities in that area. So it's neat when you can align yourself and you feel like whatever you're doing, because I know you're not doing social work right now, Nancy, and I'm not doing psychotherapy right now, but it's like that springboard, and it's like all these wonderful tools we all have. You guys have them too, and you can look back and see how each one was a stepping stone to the next thing and how you can use them all together. So I feel like it's a win-win when we start compounding and bringing together all these different abilities we have. So think about yourself, you guys. You have multiple superpowers, but pick your first one and then you'll see how they all kind of connect. It's really cool. And I want you guys to think of 2022 as being able to access and utilize these abilities more this year. Okay, that's your challenge, you guys, this year. That's your challenge. It's all of our challenges, really. I'm challenging myself.
Exactly. Yeah. It's and I really think, like, you know, by establishing connections between different types of energies, really, it's always a field that I'm exploring. It's always because I know there's people that they say, well, I don't believe in any of that stuff.
Oh, good point.
I believe in science, and I don't support that. And but we're all energy. We're all made of stardust, really. And so how could you not believe in a metaphysical realm? But they don't.
Yeah, they don't.
I feel sad for them.
Well, you know, and this is the thing we got to think about. It's tough because you go, oh, can't really talk to them on that level. But the key is this: we're all in our different place of evolution, right? We all have to do it at our own timing, and not saying one's right or one's wrong. It's just we're all in different spaces of evolution. So yeah. It's good to acknowledge that, right?
That's true. Absolutely.
So, okay. So Nancy, we come to a place in the show where I'd love for you to share with us where people could find you. And you guys, all links will be below in the description section, but where people should find you to look up your information, your products, and where are you showing up next with that wonderful wagon?
Well, I believe I'll be down in Atlin next. That's where I'd like to start, in Atlin, BC, or in Whitehorse for sure. And I'll be going and doing witchy parties all over the place, along with my pop-up shop. I'll be all over. So I'll be always promoting my wagon on Instagram at Yukon Bliss. I chose Yukon Bliss because, of course, Bliss is my last name.
It's a real last name, you guys.
That's right. But Yukon Bliss actually means a fast-flowing river. So a fast-flowing river of bliss. I thought, well, isn't that something? So I decided to go with that name. So lucky for me, it wasn't already taken.
What a great name. Okay, so now they can find you on Instagram. Where else?
Yep. yukonbliss.com.
Okay, perfect.
And on Facebook. And yeah, just reach out. If you can't figure out my website or you run into problems, just send me a message and we deal with it. No problem.
Well, listen, it's been great having you here. I enjoy knowing you. I like all the wonderful crafts and creations you're doing, and I really like the way you work with energies and the way you talk about it. So that was really exciting to hear you. And fireweed. Oh my God, who doesn't love fireweed now? Go get some fireweed, guys. Nancy, thank you so much for being on our show.
Thanks, Karen. Take care.
All right. Thank you. So there you have it, you guys. This is a person who's out there using fireweed for good uses, right? Something new I learned today about fireweed. But listen, I love the fact that she's willing to work with the unseen dimension. She's willing to use all of her creative abilities and put it into something that works for her and works for her clients. This wonderful wagon she showed to us is something that she is doing uniquely around the whole area of Canada. She may even come to the United States. But let this be an example to you that you all have incredible proclivities, abilities within yourself. Pull them all together and use it within the world, whatever it is you're doing out there, to make 2022 great for you and to touch others. So thank you so much for joining. This is Creative Visions TV. I'm Karen Dahlman, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.